Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 664 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Ayalon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our ninth book just came out. It's called From Letters to Leaders, The Legacy of Service. So I want you to go and pick up that book on Amazon today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, I have zero artistic abilities, but I greatly admire those who do have artistic abilities. Our next guest has incredible artwork involving otters, of all things. And it's so fun that I thought our listeners would enjoy an art episode for those who have that creative side to them and are wondering, how am I going to harness that entire side of their lives? Edi Matsumoto holds a bachelor's degree in anthropology from Tsukuba University in Japan. After traveling around Southeast Asia, exploring cultures and volunteering at the Mother Teresa's home for the Dying Destitutes in Calcutta, India, she came to the United States and she earned a master's degree in nursing. She has worked in the healthcare field for nearly 30 years, and she was encouraged by her husband, Fred, who saw her sketch from 20 years ago. And Edi began taking art classes at a community college. In 2018, she earned her second master's degree in fine arts from the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. And Edi's work has won numerous awards and has been shown at galleries and museums locally, nationally, and internationally, including the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco, the Triton Museum of Arts in Santa Clara, and Pacific Grove Art Center, among many others. Welcome to the show, Edi.
Hi, thank you for having me, Mike. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. It is an honor to have you on the show. I'm a big fan of your artwork, but before the whole art thing happened, you actually spent nearly 30 years as a nurse practitioner and a clinician before reinventing yourself as an artist. So I'm wondering what originally drew you to the healthcare profession?
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned that in the bio. When I was 16, I read a book about Mother Teresa, and I thought she's such a cool lady. She just go out in the street of Calcutta on her own with a little money and started this movement that, became a global movement. She picked up the person from the street and started to take care of them with the love. Very little resources. I thought she's so cool. So I got to go meet her. So after college, I went to volunteer at the Home for Dying Destitute, and that was all good, amazing experience and meeting her and all that. But one take home was I was not very useful. I had no medical background, so I'm seeing all the other doctors and nurses, volunteering to start an IV and hanging medications, all that stuff. So I said, well, if I were to do this, if we want to be in helping profession, I need to study medicine. So that's when I came to the US. I studied English, started as English as a second language, and then started to take my nursing classes. And in 8 years, I got my master's in nursing and became a nurse practitioner. So I've been a nurse practitioner ever since. So that was a draw. So it was Mother Teresa initially.
Wow, good for you. I mean, it's very inspiring that you loved Mother Teresa's work and you just wanted to go and meet her. I think that's awesome. And you actually carried that out. You didn't just think about it, you did it. You took action. And so I really admire that quite a bit. One of the things that the healthcare workers often experience that our college students also are experiencing
Mhm.
is what we call burnout. Did
Right.
you experience a moment where you realized, hey, maybe I need a different path in life?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, truly, I loved nursing. I loved taking care of patients. But I've been in healthcare hospital for almost 30 years, and towards the end, little by little, computer comes in, more insurance companies influence. So little by little, it kind of felt like it was eroding. So more time was spending with the computer, paperwork, talking on the phone, or put on hold by insurance company. So time spent away from patients were increasing. So, I think all the clinicians would agree. We like to spend time with the patients, talking to patients and helping them hands-on. But more and more time was spent on other things. So I experienced burnout like that. But in my case, I think it was relatively mild. But I've seen other colleagues, my husband, my good colleagues, they were really burned out to crisp, really. So I felt yeah, significant change in their personality. They're going through depression, PTSD, but also it was not just in my vicinity, but also nationwide. National Academy of Medicine started a movement. This is not good. Higher suicide rate, PTSD, depression, exhaustion, anxiety among all healthcare professions. So they started a movement in 2017, and that's when I got involved into their movement. And I happened to have some healthcare professionals' portraits that I did for a master's degree for my, master's in fine arts. I painted my colleagues and husbands, and but I wanted to paint the real picture, not the rosy doctors, working happily. There are happy times, but also reality. I wanted to show the reality. So some of the doctors' faces are not looking like this, or really kind of in conflict, huge burden, stressful. And then the National Academy of Medicine also agreed with that. And then kind of my husband became a poster boy for that picture I painted. So that the whole purpose was the all the clinicians would feel they're not alone feeling that way. So take the stigma out of it and then get more resources for them to seek help. So that's when I got into healing art. So but yeah, really there was a moment I cut back my hours after I started to take art classes. I cut back from full time to 4 days. So that was sort of maybe I think that was balancing my life, work, and private life. So I was, studying and painting art 3 days a week. And then hospital came back a little bit later. We really value your work. We really want you to be back full time. We value your work. So that was fine. But the way they did it was, we want you to be back full time because we're going to eliminate your part-time position. So
Oh.
basically, you don't have any choice. So that kind of offended me.
Hmm.
And that's when I snapped, like, I can't do this. I cannot do full time. So I'm gonna resign. So that's when I jump into this unknown world of art and business. I have no business background, but I really had no choice. So that's when it snapped. So I just kind of quit healthcare and yeah, became an artist.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah.
a really, big sign, I think, from up above, right? When
Mhm.
somebody says, we're going to eliminate your position unless you go full time. And then you say, all right, well, then I guess I'm going into the world of art. And then, it's a big
Yeah, so I'm kind
decision-making.
of thankful because no, they kind of kicked me in the butt. So I have to jump off the cliff and grow my wings as I go down, as they say. So grow my wings as I, yeah, go down. So
Yeah.
yeah, sink or swim. So I just learned business and marketing as I go. And yeah, here I am.
Yeah, I don't think you would have learned all of that if you didn't get that kick to
Right.
move into art, right? So it's so
Mhm.
interesting how life works and how
Yes.
it pushes you into different places than you
Mhm.
thought you would ever be. And you were actually born and raised in Japan in a family that really did value arts. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering, how did your great-grandfather's traditional Japanese ink brush art influence how you see creativity and art today?
Yeah, actually, I never met him. I think he died relatively young, but he was sort of a legend in the family. He was an amateur artist, but amazing artist. I've seen his work
Mm.
preserved in a local temple. Huge panel with the ink brush, flowers, gorgeous flowers and birds, very traditional. But that's my great grandfather's work. It's amazing. But also he was his day job, main job was that he was selling kimonos. So
Mm.
he was a good businessman. So that's why he was a legend, a great artist and a great businessman. But I never met him. But my mother's side kind of inherited his genes, artistic trait. So my grandfather was able to draw, paint, my uncle, my aunt, my mother. Everybody can kind of draw and do artistic things just like that. So it was in the family. So we love to go to museum. We like to, do artsy things. And my sister, also very talented. She passed away young also, but she became a cartoonist. Art was her life. So it was very valued. So I grew up in the environment in Japan. Everybody drew cartoons. I mean, the manga, animation. So that was our childhood. But partially because two things, partially because my sister went 100% into art. So my parents didn't want me to go that way.
Mm.
They wanted me to have a good education, get a good grade, go to good school, and go to a good company, get a good job, get all kinds of certificates so you'll be kind of useful in the society. Go to a safe path. Because my sister turned out to be kind of a stereotypical starving artist.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah. But also in that sense, I think we're going to talk about my husband in a little bit, but I didn't take my artistic ability as something special. I took it for granted because my mom can do it, my sister can draw better than me, so it's nothing special. So that's when my husband saw my old sketch. I just literally tossed in the garbage after showing it to him and told him about the story. Oh, this is what I painted when I was in Paris. And I was so bored. So just a pen on paper, nothing special. And I just tossed it. And he literally plucked it, the rescued from garbage. And he said, what are you doing? You cannot throw this away. This is amazing art. We're gonna frame it and put it in a dining room for everybody to see, and you are going to art school. So I was like, oh, really? It didn't dawn on me at that point, but like, oh yeah, if you say so, well, I'll give it a shot. So
Yeah.
that's how the whole thing started about 17 years ago, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I think a lot of the college students listening, they feel that pressure because many of them have to choose what is practical in life and how to make money because they have
Mhm,
student debt and it's so expensive now with groceries and gas and housing
mhm.
prices. So they feel pressure to choose something that's practical.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel in your life that tension between creativity and being practical?
Um, I think so. It wasn't I don't know. I didn't kind of it was not on the surface because I loved the nursing. I loved the interaction. So I wanted to be in helping serving world with Mother Teresa's mission. So I enjoyed that so much. And in a sense, I was creative. I was making lots of scrapbooks. My husband and I go traveling somewhere, go on a cruise, come back. Within 24 hours, I had a complete scrapbook with all the pictures and tickets and everything. So I was doing all kinds of, the creative things in a way, but it's kind of amazing how my creativity was kind of hidden underneath. And as soon as he told me to take art class, it just like a boom exploded. So I didn't know where that was and why didn't I notice that before? So in a way, I didn't feel that much tension because I had a little outlet, here and there being creative, and I was happy with that and happy with my work. But something triggers you, like you said, maybe some higher power telling you,
Mhm.
like, well, there's another way. And I think I'm gonna have your husband tell you what to do. Like, boom.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the Mother Teresa story because
Hmm.
not everybody gets to work with Mother Teresa, okay? And so, are there any lessons that stayed with you from working with Mother Teresa for the rest of your life?
Well, so many. I think number one, as I mentioned, like her courage that she actually thought of that. She got the calling, and this is what she should do, and she did it. So like me reading her book and going to India to meet her,
Mhm.
but that was a thing. So she got the calling and she just went out. She had a secure job as a nun in a Catholic school teaching children, very secure job inside the school. But she just left all that on her own. She only had like, I don't know, 50 cents in her pocket, went out and did it. And so that courage, fearlessness, and but she was, I never forget when I shook hands with her. Her hand was so soft. And you would think with that kind of job she does, she would have kind of really, rough and callous all over, carrying different things, but so soft. And I think she doesn't take things too seriously. Although she's doing that kind of job, she's always smiling, she's joking, she's quite witty. And yeah, she says funny things, and yeah, and then she has this kind of a joyful aura about it. So it's not like, she's doing the serious God work and I'm sacrificing myself and doing this for other people. But there's nothing like that. There's no I don't know, the seriousness or self-importance. She's just kind of doing it lightly. Oh, Eddie, you're powdering patients. Oh, that's so nice, sweet. But at the same time, I see her kind of walking with another guy in the distance, and somebody say, "Oh, that's French Prime Minister," but she's just kind of walking around, with a guy hanging out with a French Prime Minister, but talk to other volunteers, just so down to earth, tiny little person, but like an Energizer bunny. She just kind of walks around doing everything, talk to everybody. So yeah. So the kind of I'm going kind of all over the place, but the main thing is she just did what she wanted to do. She believes to be her calling and just did it. No matter what, didn't have money, didn't have resources at the beginning, but her energy, her charisma, aura just attracted so many other the sisters she taught at the school came back to help her. She attracted all the resources. Government started to help her. The whole world started to help her. So she just had this power. Just believe in her work. Just did. But I don't think she expected to be such a global movement. She just did what she believed to be right. She wanted to do. So,
I mean, so that kind of brings me to the next question because,
mhm.
I think we all need people who believe in us. And your
Uh,
husband, he saw the beauty in the sketch that you made, and you were ready to throw it away. It was in the garbage when he found it. So, I mean, what does that teach us about the importance of people who believe in us?
Right. Yeah. So I didn't see the value in it. So I want to tell people, don't throw away your treasure, your gift, your talent in trash like I did. Unless, so sometimes we cannot see ourselves. And as I mentioned, because all my family were able to draw and paint and create, things very creative, so I didn't see my gift. It took somebody else to see me in the bigger picture. So I have, in my book, I have lots of other jokes too. And one of the jokes is sometimes you ought to listen to your significant other. So that's one lesson. And really, I really owe, I'm sitting in my gallery. I have like 100 paintings that I've done over the years, and every single piece would not have happened if it weren't for my husband insisting on me going to art school. And he supported me 100% throughout, 4 days a week I'm in school, and 3 days a week I'm in the little studio we built in the back of the house, and he didn't mind that. And he would just come in with a little chai, like, I think you should take a little break. And yeah, so yeah, even now he's retired now, but he's a physician. He was burnout physician, but throughout all of that, he supported me 100%, 200%. So yeah, really, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without him believing myself. And he doesn't really work in my gallery, but he's a great communicator. In other words, he's a social butterfly. So he does a lot of verbal marketing. Everywhere he goes, he talks about my art, about my gallery. He sends people to my gallery. So I am so blessed. I'm so fortunate to have somebody believe in me, more than I believed in myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's such a gift. So
Hmm.
I'm so, yeah, appreciative of, having somebody like that, in my life.
I think we all need somebody like that in
Yes.
our
Hmm.
lives. That's really good. I love your book. You have the cover there in the background. The book is called
Yeah,
Otter Therapy, and it
right.
really does reimagine famous works of art using these playful otter characters. So, where did this idea for using otters in all of your artwork, where did that come from?
Right. So I struggled to find a niche, artist. After I retired from hospital about 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, being an artist, making a living is hard. Uh, so I was struggling painting healthcare providers and different things. And then some wiser, older artist told me, you should either paint local landscape. We're in Monterey, Carmel, so people, from all over the world come and appreciate the beach and the forest and in the meadows, and so we live in a beautiful place. So lots of painters will paint landscapes, but I feel like I've been there, done that, and everybody else is doing it. I didn't want to do that. And then she said, "Okay, you can paint others." So and many other artists paint otters too, because we are famous for otter. You can see otters in the ocean out there. So they're so cute. So I was kind of painting regular otters, kind of swimming in the ocean. Yeah, nothing special, but this started to sell. But then the kind of another sort of message from the universe through a sea otter researcher who saw one of my otters. She loved it, and she commissioned me to do the Scream. Let's see. I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see
I can
that.
see it there in the
Yeah,
background. Hmm.
Scream. So she asked me, that's her favorite painting, and she is a sea otter researcher. So she asked me to put the otter face in that.
Hmm.
And I did it. She loved it. I loved it. It was supposed to be just a one-off thing. But I have lots of different coaches, but one of my coaches was art business coach. And I was talking to me, Eddie, you can paint this and that, and you have good skills, but you need a niche. So what has traction? So I said, well, otters sell, and then I just did this, fun scream otter, and he just loved it. He said, that is it. That's gonna be your niche. You're gonna do Mona Lisa otter, American Gothic, the otter with a pearl earring, and you can even do like a Clint Eastwood otters, and so we had a great brainstorming session, like a half an hour or so. We just on and on, oh, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. So that was another life-changing, art career changing session we had. And after that, I was like a mad woman painting others in fine arts. And also that coincided with the time I decided to open a gallery. That was another thing I never thought I would do. But anyway, I opened a gallery and had a few others, and response from people walking by, people coming, amazing. Like they just love my otters. Like, oh, they're so funny. That's the cutest thing. That's the funniest thing. So, yeah, so that's how I started to paint otters, and I put the first 50 in this otter therapy book, and then now I'm up to 80, and I'm ready for to write another second version of the art therapy book, including some of the local people. I just painted the Carmel mayor. Clint Eastwood was previous mayor in the 80s, so I did that Clint otter. I have a current mayor, police chief. That people want to be otherized. Like, I want to be otherized. So they come in, I want to be otherized. So I'm otherizing some of the, friends, acquaintances, local characters. So that will be included in my next book someday, next year.
Wow, that's fantastic. I want to be otterized too. Maybe we can have an otter with a beard. Maybe we can do
Sure, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
fantastic. I mean,
yeah.
it
Let me
really is.
know.
It's so fun. And you talk about this concept of otter therapy. You talk about it as like a prescription for smiles. You talk
Mhm.
about emotional medicine delivered by the otters. So how do you feel that humor and art actually comes together to reduce stress?
Right. Yeah. So when I was involved in the burnout issues for
Mhm.
healthcare professionals, I did quite a bit of a research about art, the healing power of art. And there's a lot of research done, especially in the cancer patients. So they do art therapy and see if they can relieve stress, anxiety, and turn out, they have physiological benefits and emotional and the psychological effects. So it actually lower blood pressure, breathing, stress hormone cortisol, and increase the happy hormones, dopamines, and also psychologically reduce stress, anxiety, burden, low self-esteem, hopelessness, and then increase more social connections, increase self-esteem, happiness level, well-being level. So there are lots of studies to back it up. And plus the humor too. The dose of humor does something similar, relaxes you, changes the hormones and lower the stress levels, hormones. And then my other therapy have the third ingredient besides power of art and the humor, and then also like everybody go, oh, so cute. So I think something when you see something cute and adorable, there's another like oxytocin, like you just want to love this little cute little thing. So it just relaxes you and kind of let the guard down, and so people just smile and be happy. So that's what art therapy seems to do for a lot of people. And I just see that every day sitting in my gallery, people come in smiling. Or even if they don't come in, I'm just hearing people cracking up outside of my window. So everybody's laughing and couples are talking or families having all kinds of conversations and sometimes the parents are teaching, that's Van Gogh, and that's called a Dali, and that's this and that. Or that's Presley. Like, who's Presley? So they're having a conversation, animated conversation. So that's good for the family, good for people. And also I have other testimonials of people who take others home, my others, other art home, and they write back to me like, oh, I live alone, and your other keeps me company and makes me smile every day. Or after surgery, like it's your others making me forget the pain or the loneliness. So others seems to be doing a really good job as a therapist.
That is fantastic. I
Yeah.
love this story. I think it's
Thank
incredible. Now,
you.
the students who are listening right now, I think that they are just really worried about choosing the right career path. And maybe they're
Mhm.
only 21 years old or 22 years old, and they don't want to choose the wrong thing. So, what would you tell them about this idea that life can have many different chapters in it?
Right. Yeah. So when I was 21, 22, I had no idea what I was gonna do. The only thing I knew was I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see the world, get out of Japan and go see the bigger world. And then the other thing is I wanted to go see Mother Teresa. Those are the two things I wanted to do. That's about all I knew. And since then, that's, I don't know, long time ago, 40 years ago. Since then, probably I had like a 10 different jobs, different chapters, maybe three, four different chapters. So I think, you don't have to be afraid of making mistakes. You don't certainly not get that right path the first time, not very likely. You're lucky if you know you wanted to be a pilot since you were 2 years old, go for it. But most of the people are not that lucky to know your path since you were young. So I meander around and I tried and worked in a restaurant, department store, I worked in an office. Yeah, did all kinds of different things. But I think everything feeds you. There's no mistakes, there's no failure. Everything feeds you. All the experience, yeah, they're going to be part of you. So in my mind, it's not so much the choosing the right path or right career. It's more like a creating, take all the ingredients or the experience that you have in your life and create the life you want. Kind of more proactive approach. Because everything I've done, the healthcare is part of me, Mother Teresa is part of me, art is a big part of me. But, if I asked or told my 22-year-old 22-year-old self. Like, you're gonna be an artist and have a gallery in Carmel by the Sea. I said, you are kidding. No way. So you just never know. But I think you can kind of, if there's an inclination, just give it a shot. It's gonna feed you. And no mistakes in it. Just it's gonna be part of you and makes you wiser, more experienced, and um, so yeah. And I think take all the good things and what feels you that feels good, give you joy, give you happiness, and accumulate those and create the good life, the life you want. And right now, I think a lot of people started to hear this word ikigai. It's a Japanese word, but ikigai is a combination of what you love to do, what you are good at doing, and then what people need. There's a need in the world that people want to see the others and be happy, or whatever the purpose. No, that whatever you do will serve the purpose, serve people, and also the create income. So these kind of Venn diagram, four of those elements overlap in the middle. That's ikigai. And it takes time to figure that out. It took me a long time to figure that out. But, when you're young, maybe when you're in your 20s, maybe you can just do this, exercise. What are you good at? What you love to do and what the world needs and what can create income. And the first part, what you're good at, you may have to ask somebody else. What do you think I'm good at? Like that was my mistake. I didn't think I was a good artist when I was young. Like it took my husband to figure that out. So they may have to ask their friends or family, like, what am I good at? What do you think is my strengths? So I think finding ikigai early on might give you a shortcut. And then do whatever that you feel like doing, go for it. And then you can always change course. Like you said, there are many, many chapters. And then my mind's getting better and better and better and better just because I incorporated all my experiences, past experiences. Nothing is wasted. So, create your best life. Another quote I like is that don't die with your music in it. Wayne Dyer. So everybody has some kind of music, some talent, something you're born to do. Yeah. So don't die without doing it. So have courage. So go for it.
I love it. That is fantastic. I
Yeah.
can't wait for Otter Therapy number two, the second book to come out. If you can turn one famous painting into an otter masterpiece, what is it going to be in the second book?
Uh, I don't know if it'll fit in the book, but it's gonna be a Last Supper.
Uh,
So the Otter Supper.
yeah.
So that's gonna be accumulation of all the fa popular authors. So I have a mini version, practice version, but I want to make a big version. I have a show coming up later this year. So I'm gonna have otter with a pearl earring and Van Gogh otters and Einstein otters. So all my popular otters all in one at one table. And I wanna make a big piece. So
Wow,
that
that sounds
that's what
great.
I'm working on right now.
That sounds amazing. Well, if you want to find a home in Nashville, Tennessee for the Last Supper with all the otters, I'll put it up in my house, no problem.
All
I
right,
think
I'll
it'd
let
be
you know when I'm
fantastic.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me know when you're done and send me a photo. I
Sure.
can't wait to see what it looks like because
Absolutely.
I'll come out there and I'll bring it back to Nashville myself.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah, come to Carmel to my gallery and come to my show.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. All right. So if our listeners, if they want to buy your book, it's called Otter Therapy, or maybe
Mhm.
they want to connect with you in order to purchase their art, or maybe they want to be otterized themselves and they want to be in a painting. Where should they go to connect with you?
Okay, so the book is available on Amazon or local bookstores. If they don't have it, they can ask for it. If they want to connect with me, Edi at edimatsumoto.com. That's my name. And edimatsumoto.com, you can see all the others. And then you can purchase any prints or just look at the others and have a giggle anytime you like. So there is a link for other therapy book as well. And I have a gallery in Carmel by the Sea. And yeah, they can find me over here, Carmel by the Sea. Come to my gallery, and I can authorize you too.
This is so fun, Eddie. I love that you were on the show, and I'm so glad that we got a chance to share that with college students all over the country. I think your work is incredible, and it serves a great purpose in terms of bringing smiles and emotional medicine to so many people around the country. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation with Eddie, I want you to share this episode with your chapter. Put a link in a group chat, share it on social media. You really never know who needs to hear this message today. And maybe seeing one of Eddie's otters is exactly what you need. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Bye for now.